2025 Mediation Industry Predictions, a conversation with Kiki Limitless. That is our conversation for today. Welcome to the Lawyers and Mediators International Show and Podcast, where we discuss law and conflict resolution topics to educate both professionals and everyday people. Catch regular episodes on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. Just remember, nothing in these episodes constitutes legal advice, so be sure to talk to a lawyer, as cases are fact-dependent. Hey everyone, this is Mac Pierre-Louis, attorney, mediator, arbitrator working throughout Florida and Texas. And we're back to LMI Podcast. Welcome back, the place where we talk about law and conflict resolution. And with me today is my guest, Kiki Limitless of Millionaire, Mediator. And Kiki, you've been here before, so you're no stranger, but I want people to get to know you a little bit before we have our conversation about 2025 mediation industry predictions, just like we did last year. We're in a new year, and so we get the new opportunity to catch people up about what we think is going to happen. But Kiki, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do as a mediator coach, mediator trainer, and all over the internet. Go ahead.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for having me back. And I had such a great time last year. And if I do say so myself, our predictions were pretty on point. So I'm really excited that I'm back and we can do these for 2025. So who am I? I am your mediator business coaching bestie. I've helped over 150 certified mediators get trained this past year and launch their business. And so it's my job that our mediators in their industry are successful, that you all are onto industry trends and that you're ahead of the trends so you can anticipate needs and set yourself up for success going forward. So my commitment is that I want to train the next wave of, extraordinary mediators in this industry, whatever that looks like. So I'm of the opinion that mediators, conflict resolution professionals are needed everywhere in every single company, every single organization, every single industry. So I want to make sure that we're extraordinary and we can create extraordinary results. So I'm excited to be here today and to talk about what I believe is going to be trending in 2025.
Yes. And ever since I met you, Kiki, during the COVID years, I've always known you have a passion for helping people who are hurting and who are in need of conflict resolution in their lives, and helping instill your knowledge and how to help people into the next generation of mediators. So I thank you again for your work and your efforts. And so last year, this is actually not last year. And by the way, I was showing your TikTok, and you're on Instagram, you're on LinkedIn, you're everywhere online. So people just need to get to your hashtag at Millionaire Mediator, and they'll be able to get everything they want to know about you. But last time we did this, it was, I believe, December 2023, could have been January 2024. I'm not sure exactly when we recorded this. This was in South Texas. You were out here, and we had a conversation, a couple of them actually, when it came to what we want to see in 2024 in the mediation industry. And we were both making our predictions. And so, but yeah, just to go back real quick before we go forward, to go back real quick in time, what would you say were some of the predictions we got spot on?
The ones we got spot on were definitely industry trends regarding the need and the demand for premarital agreements. I personally have seen mediators in my community who had a lot of success with that in 2024. I also think that we were pretty spot on with, integrating AI and ChatGPT and some of the predictions there. Although I would have liked to see more people in our industry utilizing AI, and I'm sure you have a lot to say about that. Yeah. And what else? It's almost like it's escaping me.
Well, we talked a lot about social media as well. What do you think the outcome was in that aspect?
Well, I can say for myself and, mediators in my community, we definitely utilize social media. I'm sure you guys can see us all over the place. What I would like to see is that as an industry as a whole, that we really come into our power with mediation, with what we have to say about the industry, with our insights, our feedback, our knowledge, our education. And we utilize social media as a platform to reach as many people as possible, to share with them our gifts and what kind of extraordinary results that we can make for them. So that's something I would like to see going forward in
Yes.
2025.
Yeah.
Mediators, get it together.
Yeah. So, but give us now some of your predictions going into 2025, not just with social media, but with some of the other areas. What are some trends and things that you've been thinking about?
Absolutely. So I think that in 2025, what we're going to see is a huge change in the landscape regarding, socioeconomic trends. I'm also taking into consideration the political changes that are happening in this country going into 2025. So I think all of that is going to create huge. It could create huge divides, which of course in our industry is actually a good thing, right? But what I'm seeing is that there's actually a lot of opportunities now for people, for mediators, with people with conflict resolution backgrounds. So let's take a look, right? So I think on the forefront, what we're starting to see in the business market is that top billion-dollar companies are starting to call their employees back to work now, right?
Mhm.
A
Yeah.
lot of these top billion-dollar companies, they're pushing for at least 3 days a week in the workplace, in person, and of course, the workforce is not happy about that. And so I think that companies now are going to be having a more emphasis. They want more emphasis on increasing their culture as a company. I think that we're going to start to see maybe communication breakdowns, team misalignments, that sort of stuff. And so mediators that are specializing in resolving workplace conflicts, but also people who can actually help to revive the culture, right? To create a culture within a company that's thriving. I think there's a lot of opportunities for mediators in those spaces, and companies are going to have a budget to be able to support us in that, right? I think that companies, they see the cost savings when they are hiring mediators, as opposed to putting in money in places that are going to inevitably end up with employee turnover, labor litigation. Okay, so companies are now finally seeing um, our value, and so it's up to us as professionals in this industry to take advantage. Okay, and alongside that, I also think that because of the political changes that are coming in 2025, we're going to see companies stepping back from DEI and social justice issues. And
Mhm.
so that's just something for mediators to look out for, that when you're sort of packaging up your services and you're pivoting in the industry, is that you take a look and see where are companies putting their dollars, and it's not
Yeah.
going to be
What
with
why do you
their.
think why do you think that's happening with the pullback and the social justice stuff?
I can't say for certain because I don't have a political science background, but I mean, at the end of the day, we saw a huge rise in, the emphasis for DEI initiatives and social justice issues, like from maybe 2019 up until about 2023. In 2024, if you take a look at the news outlets, a lot of companies were pulling out from those efforts, because I think that, people with dollars are always going to have power, right? And so those who are in power maybe don't, support those efforts. But that's not to say, that there aren't still going to be opportunities in those industries with those companies. We just have to pivot as professionals in this industry to actually listen to what the market wants, but also who's paying us, right? And then find some sort of middle ground.
Yeah. And so when we're talking about businesses and how businesses want to now look out and bring media conflict resolution professionals in, are you talking about all sizes of businesses or really big businesses or small businesses, or are there restrictions on this?
No, I think on all fronts, small, medium, large size businesses. I think as mediators, if we're going to take a look at it from a business perspective,
Mm.
just be mindful of who your ideal client is. Take a look at what their desires are, where their goals are, what's their vision, and also what's their budget, what's realistic for them as well.
Yeah.
And just make sure that you're pivoting your services to be able to offer something that makes sense for their size, right? And their goals.
Yeah. It's good. What else? What's your next prediction?
So what we're also going to start seeing in 2025 is, of course, I think everybody knows, is that we're going to be witnessing one of the biggest wealth transfers, generational wealth transfers in history. It's unprecedented, really. And so mediators are going to really be playing a key role, right, in helping families to navigate that sort of conflicts and disputes over things like inheritance,
Mhm.
family trusts, business succession, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So my prediction is definitely that this will likely attract more high income, high net worth clients, and so that's definitely a lot of lucrative opportunities there for mediators.
Yeah, so we were talking before we started recording about the baby boomers generation is now transferring a lot of assets, property, businesses to the next generation. I guess that would be Generation X, and then millennials and so on. And from what I understand, 2025 just started a few days ago, and they're already naming the new uh, um, Generation Alpha. I think honestly, some of this stuff just sounds made up. But the social scientists are at it again, trying to tell us, okay, there's another generation. And so now that we have like four concurrent generations all living alongside each other, we're going to see a massive transfer from the baby boomers who consisted of millions of people and who made their money in some really, really good years, right? 80s, 90s, and and now all that is stored up. And when it comes to transfer, I think that might, trickle over into probate law because you're going to have a lot of siblings who are going to be inheriting money, assets, cars, businesses, and they're going to need a way to not fight amongst each other and in peaceful ways of divvying up things, especially when there's not a will. So
Yeah,
I guess,
absolutely. Mhm,
yeah, tell me,
absolutely.
what
Sorry
are your
to
thoughts?
cut you, but I think that that's what you just said. Beautiful, and I think that if any mediators are watching this, especially mediator entrepreneurs, what you want to take away from this is that there's opportunities here right in front of us. So let's get ahead of the trends before they start happening. Use this to pivot inside of your business. Use this for your marketing so that you know how to speak to people who are going to need your services before it's too late, before they enter into legal processes that it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to reel it back and get into mediation. Let's provide people with the knowledge and with the tools and the resources so that they can make informed decisions before they get into those, sticky situations.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's coming. It's coming. And all right. So that's probate and inheritance and property. What's next?
Well, I definitely think that we cannot skip over AI. AI is all around us every
Yeah.
single day. And I think that it's very important for mediators to, get down and dirty with AI. And so I think that AI is becoming a little bit more, embedded into our daily lives. People of all ages, all different generations are using AI. So now, in terms of a business perspective, I think that we might start to see more disputes over things like data privacy, algorithm bias, intellectual property disputes, that sort of stuff. And I think that will be on the rise as more and more people, companies, organizations, groups are now using AI. So that's definitely something that to look out for. So you mediators out there who have a very strong background with tech, ethics, AI related conflicts, people who even have just a passion for it. That is actually something that you can monetize and you can get into this cutting edge part of our industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and allow me to just plug a little bit, about what I've been working on when it comes to this space. And I've been talking to some, specialists. One of whom has been recording with us this past week about automation and how do you automate your business. And so one of my predictions is that there's going to be a big push amongst lawyers and mediators of people who will want to use not just AI but AI agents. And even that term AI agents is now starting to mean multiple things to multiple people. But to me, what it means is finally having a way using technology to multiply yourself, right? To not just be um, a single professional, but who can
Mhm.
have a virtual assistant, several virtual assistants who can do different things at different times, 24 hours a day while you're sleeping. Imagine what that could do to your marketing efforts as a mediator, um, but also helping you do your work really, really, really well. And so I'll share my screen. One of the sites that's part of the Lawyers and Mediators International Network, and people might know there's multiple parts to LMI. There's a sandbox, the podcast that we're on right now, the trainings, instant mediators, and LMI hub sites. And LMI hub sites is not something that I've spoken about too much. However, and people can go and watch the video that kind of describes what it does. But LMI hub sites is all about bringing technology to mediators and helping people basically use their own website, their own domain that they already own, and just augmenting it to now be really, really powerful and be their own custom platform to do everything from helping people find you, marketing you, scheduling you, getting you paid, and of course using AI on it. Okay, let your website basically work 24 hours a day to convert new clients. And so I think that using AI chatbots on your website is going to be a potential of the future. And hopefully this thing will take off, but I think people are kind of scared of it. And so it's the same kind of thing that when we started having people do online calendars, many people were scared of it. They were concerned that they didn't want strangers being able to go to their website and book themselves and schedule themselves. And so they want to have control. However, if you learn to use online calendaring really well, you can actually scale and actually get people to be booking themselves automatically 24 hours a day without you having to do anything. You can do it automatically. That was a benefit. And so, just like that, it's similar to the AI revolution, AI agent revolution. AI agents now, if you can trust them, train them, teach them, give them your knowledge base, they now can help you do things automatically without you having to be there to constantly monitor, because that's energy, that's time you don't have, right? And so we have to learn how to put that kind of effort into these machines. So anyway, that's one of my predictions this year, and LMI hub sites is going to be hopefully a leader to push people towards that direction. But anybody can do it. They just need to go and get a agent platform, or get somebody to help them set one up. So that's my thoughts on AI predictions for in the mediation industry in 2025. But continue. What else?
Beautiful. Well, I have tons of other plans like regarding social media,
Mhm.
high stakes corporate mediation, healthcare, bioethics. But I think there's just I can talk about that. People can go and visit me. I'll make some videos about that. But I think there's just one that I really want to highlight, which is climate and environmental mediation. So right now, especially because of changes that we're going to be seeing in 2025, I think that, governments, corporations, environmental groups, they're all going to be turning to mediators and mediation to address disputes regarding things like climate change policies, renewable energy projects, sustainable energy goals, that sort of thing. So this field itself is going to gain a lot of international attention. I definitely think that it's going to be attracting a lot of funding this year, and so mediators will be able to find opportunities for themselves in those spaces.
Got it, got it. And so certainly we're becoming very connected globally, right? And there's going to always be a movement or a need for people to um, have different knowledge when it comes to different cultures, different languages, to be able to help stakeholders who need to make some kind of decision when it comes to the conflicts. We'll see how that pans out. I'm more on the kind of gray about it. I don't really know how exactly, but in 2026 when we connect back to look back on what happened, we got to definitely hit on this, because there's a lot of things going on when it comes to the environment globally. All right.
I think so. And thank you for saying that though, because I think that in this industry this year, what I would love to do is have more of an emphasis on mediators creating opportunities for themselves, but also really pushing for the existing opportunities that we have and not waiting for, companies, organizations to see our value, right? I think that when you really take a look at it, we're needed and we're in demand everywhere. It's just that there's a little bit of misinformation or miseducation around who we are and what we do. And when people really do learn about mediators and mediation and the benefits of it, then companies are mind blown, organizations are mind blown, people are mind blown, and they're like, well, okay, we need you, right? So that's what I would really like to see, is that mediators are not waiting on their hands this year, and that we're just taking advantage of opportunities that are right there in front of us, right? And so if there's any chance of us coming back and improvements and seeing success in those areas, it's going to be because we go after those opportunities and we don't just wait for them.
Got it. So lots to say on that, and I totally agree with you that we have to be the future that we want, right? We have to create sometimes, the narrative and the storyline. And
Or invent
radio,
it. We got to invent.
yeah, well, innovation, right, is necessity is the mother of invention, as they say. And if we have a necessity like paying our bills, we have to think outside the box. How can I be creative enough to do something that both bridges what I'm really passionate about, which is helping people make peace, with ingenuity and a really good way to scale something up like this and helping people and businesses. So, but what other thoughts do you have before we start wrapping up?
No
What can we?
worries. I love this conversation, and I think that it's just so exciting to see what we have on the front coming up in 2025, and then and beyond. So I think that if anyone can take anything from these predictions and from this prediction video, is that we're going to see more of an emphasis on certifications, getting credentials, trainings, people in different industries, even if they don't want to, be a full on, certified mediator and go into private practice. What we're going to start to see is that professionals are going to start to take a look and see that they're already doing dispute resolution. They're already doing conflict resolution as part of their jobs, as part of their roles. And so either we're going to see professionals taking it upon themselves, or companies are going to create initiatives for employees to get certified, to get trained in mediation, in alternative dispute resolution skill sets. And another thing, there's going to be on the rise in different industries. What we're seeing too is a rise in subscription-based services. And so that's another thing that I really do want to leave people with, is that if you're watching this and you're a mediator entrepreneur, do not discount the opportunity to offer subscription-based services to companies, to organizations, to groups. Everyone is doing it in different industries, and I think that that's something that we could also take on here. Offering services up on that subscription base. And we're going to start to see that. We're going to start to see that companies are going to be needing ongoing conflict resolution services. And the way to be able to offer those services ongoing as well as on demand would be through subscription. So
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And so we like I call it a Netflix style of building, right? Where we've all been trained in this new model of giving expert service on a monthly rolling basis until the person cancels. And so if there's going to be opportunities for that, to mediators, then that'll be great. And
Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
The
and so
traditional
we
model really is that we mimic what we do in the legal industry, right? Which
yeah.
is creating retainers and having and being on retainer. But what we're going to start to see is that we're going to move away from that model and move more to a subscription-based model. And I do believe that's going to create more success for us.
Gotcha. Okay, Kiki Limitless of Millionaire Mediator. So people can check you out. They just go online and you'll be able to see all of her social media. And again, I'll leave you with this. And so just search Millionaire Mediator and you'll be able to find her. Okay, guys, until next time, thank you so much for checking out the lmipodcast.com. And until next time, Kiki, thank you so much. We'll have you back.
Thank
Take care.
you.